Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mindset Mentor podcast with Anuson. I am your host. Thank you so much for choosing to return back to my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you and thank you again. Today I'm going to be looking at a topic where I like to say you need to learn how to shut up your mouth. This video is especially for women who are in their matrimonial homes right now and those who are preparing to get married. It's important for you to understand that no matter what happens, you are under no obligation to tell people what happens in your matrimonial home. I did this video earlier in the year. I'm going to do it again. Now, I do know that there is this cravings to want to bring people into what you are enjoying in your matrimonial home, especially when you're newly wedded. But over time, even me, I went through that phase in life. But as an adult who has been here for a while, I am telling you that it makes no sense for you to want to put everything you are doing in your matrimonial home out there. It's important for you to know that as a woman who wants to find satisfaction and fulfillment, you need to recognize that before God is your number one God, and then your husband is your number two God. And when you write that thought in bold letters in your consciousness, you're going to have a peaceful coexistence with your husband. And it's important to understand that place of a man and a place of a woman. We live in a world where people tell you in the mainstream society that you should not, go down for your husband because you should not look at yourself as a weaker, figure in your relationship. I want you to know that whether you are weak or not is not a bone of contention. It doesn't mean anything. The fact that your husband sees you as a weaker person is the reason why he will take care of you and make sure that a tear does not drop out of your eyes. It's the same reason why the husband will get very agitated when he finds out that my wife is out there in the street and the tire of her car is packed up and I need to rush to her. It is because of the fact that he feels that you are weak, you're not able to take care of yourself. That's the advantage that issue of weakness that is becoming a problem in the mainstream society brings to you as a woman. Now, a lot of you are very, very naive of the things that people of the world can do to you. A lot of you are you talk too much. You don't shut up your mouth. Whatever happens in your matrimonial home is out there in the public domain. You say you have best friends, you sit them down and you talk about your husband, the way he sleeps with you, the things he can do, the things he cannot do, how weak he is, and how everything about your husband is out there. And tomorrow you're fighting the same friends for disrespecting your husband. It's important for you to know that you are the one who is selling your husband. Some of you make more money than your spouse. It could be your husband, it could be your wife. But for the women, when they are not making money, it's a responsibility for the man to care and do everything for the women. But the moment something goes wrong with the man's job and you start caring for the home for 1 month, the entire community is aware of what is going on in your house. A lot of you, your husbands cannot even walk past your neighborhood because they will be looking at his trouser to see what is happening under his trouser, because you have gone out there to tell them my husband's stuff is not working and he's having a problem. He went to see a doctor. The doctor said it might not be possible, and he went to see a doctor. He's under some kind of medication for his stuff to start working. You don't do this to a spouse. You don't expose your spouse this way. I see a lot of women do this. You sell yourself cheaply when you do that. A lot of you, because maybe there is some kind of argument, the man is angry and you are angry, you are out there trying to make the man look bad, make the man look like that devil that you know. You have to prove it to the world that he is actually the devil. But it's important to know that whatever you do to that man, you're doing to yourself. I made this video before, but I'm bringing it on again because this is what we are seeing, where a woman will sit down and table the husband before friends, and a man will sit down and table the wife before friends. When you put your husband out there, you're putting yourself out there. You're disrespecting yourself. A lot of you, your house, your home is like the market. There's nothing that happens there that people don't know. What you eat, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, Everything about your home is out there in the public domain. You're putting yourself down by the day. A lot of you do not know where to create this boundary. Like, you don't know where the boundaries should start. You just put your husband out there, put your wife out there. You make people disrespect your husbands. You make people disrespect your spouse. Like, everything about your family, I said this before, is out there. When if you are that character that is doing that, whether you're a woman or a man, you're doing it to yourself. It's a disservice to yourself. It's a disservice to your husband. Because you might be in that matrimonial home, but people would have seen you all. People know that there's nothing left in that thing that they call marriage. And that's why people are so quick to calling you names, calling your husband names, and disrespecting your husband. Sometimes your husband may not be able to pay children's school fees. 2 times you pay, the whole world knows. But you will never forget to tell them about the thousands of times that the man paid. Some of us are like that. And you wonder why things are not working for us. People who are in a relationship are supposed to work as one. They are supposed to be there for each other, as in the home is supposed to be for you, your husband, and your children, and not for the public. They have no business knowing what is happening behind closed doors in your house. And this is what we promote, because we go out there. Now, that is because you go out there and you sell your spouse's cheap. I've seen situations where a younger brother of the woman will stand up and slap your elder sister's husband, and the sister will be jumping all over the place, an overfed toad. Okay, now you don't ask yourself a question: what will give your brother that animal bogusness to want to slap your husband or to speak to your husband? Or what is that thing? It's because of the things you have said to them about your husband, because you have brought your husband down to the lowest level. They feel that the man does not deserve any kind of respect. I do understand the fact that sometimes some marriages can really be toxic. You don't want to be there. But the thing a lot of people are saying is that if you get to that point where you think that you no longer respect the man, you cannot be there anymore. Do not allow anybody to deceive you. Sometimes churches will tell you, no matter what happens, stay there. Even if they are buying you, you should stay there. Yes, this is what we hear. But me, I will tell you that if you're no longer happy in a relationship and you think that your life is threatened or anything, you don't have any business staying in that relationship. But if you must stay in the relationship, you need to know that the respect that people give to your husband, the respect that people give to your wife, the respect that people give to your marriage must come from you as the wife. When you put it out there that this household, this marriage, this relationship means absolutely nothing, that is where they will start coming in and begin to disrespect each and every one of you. And it's important for you to know that when people disrespect your husband as a woman, you need to know that they are disrespecting you. When people spit on your husband, they are spitting on you. When people call your husband names, they are calling you names, and vice versa. When people call your wife names, they are called. Some of you are so quick to run into your families to go and tell them things about your spouse, your husband, your wife. She is a stupid woman. She is a useless woman. He is a stupid woman. He is a useless, a man. And this is the same way they look at you. And the next minute you reconcile and you bring the same woman or man to them, they begin to look down on the man. So when you put your husband out there, you're putting yourself out there. When you put your wife out there, you're putting yourself. I know that these things are not easy, coexisting with a person from a completely different, background, with a different orientation and all of that. That is why this cohabitation, this marriage and all of that is being very challenged. Of course, the devil is putting us into that challenge, but we must live up to it because we want to understand that the basics, like if you respect your husband and respect your marriage and respect your relationship, you will have no business discussing anything that has got to do with your relationship or your husband out there. And like I said from the beginning, this video is for the young women who are getting married right now. It's never perfect. So it's important to know that when you put your spouse out there, you're putting yourself out there. When you disrespect your spouse, you're disrespecting yourself. I used to watch one blogger's stuff, Angela Nwosu. A lot of people think Angela is pretending, they say a whole lot, but there is one thing I love about Angela Nwosu. Angela Nwosu will tell you she doesn't have a religion, that she doesn't go to church, that the only religion she has in her life is her husband. And you know what that means? That is really, really intense. That is not to say there is no God for her. There is God, but the way we believe is not the same way she believes. She believes that there is a God who has created her and her husband in love and kept them together for a purpose. And that one religion that she goes bow down and is her husband. So that should tell you how important it is for you to have a spouse in your life. Forget what is happening in the mainstream society. I've told you this thing so many times where women will tell you, I can do this without a man, I can do it all by myself. You can do it when you're young. You can do it and say and go to wherever you are, you want to go to when you're young. But when you start getting old and loneliness begins to set in, then you understand what you're losing. Sometimes it's not just about cooking for a husband and all of that. Companionship is not about all of these things we do when we are young, but companionship when you're getting old. A person you can cry to, a person you can hold, when both of you are frail, when your hands are shaking, your legs are shaking, gray hair everywhere, nothing is left that is fascinating from the outside, but the heart is still there, caring for each other, loving each other, and wanting to be there for each other as a solid support system. And that is what marriage should be seen as, not these frivolities, not these small things we do when we are just getting, not the wedding gown on all of these things we do. That is just the icing of the cake. The real thing is inside and is buried beneath all the troubles, the wahala, the pain, the arguments, and all of that. That is where the real thing is buried. Anyways, I appreciate you guys once again for choosing to come back to my videos. I love you people so much. Should you like my video, consider subscribing, please, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.